Because again, I don't watch.
It wasn't Anderson Cooper.
No. It wasn't Anderson Cooper.
I don't even watch.
Yeah,
the news, you know?
Unfortunately, I can't tell you who it is. But she was this young, pretty lady that was, I guess, really popular on the show.
Good interview. Good.
I thought it was a great interview. Now, everyone, of course, I knew exactly what was going to happen when I interviewed with CNN. I knew their viewpoint, and I knew how they were going to spin it. She was actually pretty I could tell that she wanted to be like, oh, I feel for you. You know, I get it, but aren't you worried? Like, I've had coronavirus. Like, you can't tell me it's not scary. You know, like, I guess she had it, right?
Wow.
And so I was like, hey, lady, you got over it, and you're fine. You're young and healthy. I'm young and healthy. I'm not worried about it. Like, this is not the scary, monster that everyone's making it to be. You know, the people that are scared and worried or maybe in this threshold, they should stay home. Mm-hmm. But everyone else, we can't shut down a world economy for a pandemic that kills less people than the whooping cough did this year.
There's the mentality of not mentality, but the herd immunity,
right?
Of just everybody going out, get it. For the young healthy folks, it's like, oh, I'm bulletproof.
I mean, if you look at the news today, I mean, this is months later or a month and a half later.
Yeah.
The news today is scientists are worried that the coronavirus is disappearing so fast that they're not going to be able to give a real good test period for all these vaccines that are coming out, right? Mm-hmm. Think about that. The scientists are worried that coronavirus is going to go away before they can test the vaccines.
It's going away? I thought the cases were spiking.
I know.
Who do I believe? Who are we supposed to believe?
I think the cases are spiking, but we're talking about antibodies. We're not talking about the actual cases. And the more people you test, the more people that are going to have it. I mean, that's just a factual, statistic, right? Mm-hmm. So before we were testing 5 people a day. Today we're testing 500 people a day. So you're going to find more people with the antibody or even the virus, right? But that also means that that's less and less and less people that are dying, right? So now you have, out of 100,000 people, 10 were dying, right? Now you have 1 million people and 10 are dying. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or you have 2 million people and 10 were dying. So now your death ratio is going way down, right? Mm-hmm. So, it didn't have any, the data didn't add up. So they called me out of nowhere. I was happy about it. She did come at me a little sideways when I was like, hey, they're letting felons out of jail. They're not going to put me in jail. Because she's like, aren't you worried you're going to get fined and go to jail? I'm like, no, I'm not worried, and these are the reasons why. She's like, wait a minute. They're not letting anyone out of jail. I'm like, apparently you haven't been watching the California news.
Have you been watching CNN, lady?
Because you're not really well informed. So the next day, I'm not exaggerating. The next minute, 1 minute, right? My phone blows up I couldn't hang it up and talk to people fast enough, right? And all of them were like, F you. I hope you die. I hope your kids die. It's all CNN watchers. Because, they're the left.
Oh, shit.
And so all they did was Google Primo's Barbershop Vacaville, find my cell phone number, which is attached to it. I didn't care. And they called the shop phone. And they're like, fuck you, piece of shit. I hope you die.
These are just screaming.
You're a monster. They're going to send the cops. They're coming right now to get you. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you so much. Have a nice day. But here's the thing. I knew I wasn't going to be able to pay for that much media.
Oh, God.
You know how many millions of dollars that would have cost me to get outreach that many people in America just to throw? And I had it perfectly. I mean, if you watch the video, the CNN video, mm-hmm. I mean, I was in winter, so I had this Primo's chalkboard. Right, so I set up my phone perfectly.
Nice.
And I was and I was wearing my Primo shirt, and I'm like, Primos.
That's why not?
Right, so I was like, man, this is an opportunity I can't pass up, right? So I'm Primoing it, and then I also knew on some end, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna stir up this liberal base, but that means Fox is gonna call me. I already knew it. Mm-hmm. I knew it in my heart. So I'm getting all these calls, and I'm like, yeah, dude, my Instagram, my Facebook page is blowing up. Everything's blowing up, and even people were like, leaving bad reviews on Yelp because they're so mad at me, God. Right? So, but I'm getting millions of Yelp reviews, but they're they're all bad. So I'm like, just wait, it's fine. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, Juan, what
have you done?
Oh my gosh, why did you interview with them? I'm like, cuz, trust me, this is gonna be a good thing, right? So, but you're talking about out of 1,000 people, one maybe had wow, thank you so much for standing up for it. That's awesome what you're doing, right? So. Fast forward to Friday. Friday, I open up, and Carlson Tucker had called me on Thursday, or the producer for Carlson Tucker at Fox News.
Really?
Which, blew out her base by 10. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't even really watch Carlson Tucker, to be honest with you. I had no idea who the guy was. I just knew it was Fox. I just knew a Fox.
The name's Fox is familiar.
Fox is familiar.
Yeah,
right? And I knew it was a
people
conservative
know
base, program, and I'm like, they're gonna spin it more on my angle. And so they're like, hey, we're gonna interview you on that day, like 5 o'clock in the evening. We'll Skype you. Can you set it up? So I set it up over here on my little station, and great interview. And he was very pro. Like, I can't believe that CNN lady would even consider.
Oh, they brought it up.
And they're like, who is she to tell you? Like, like she's making $100,000 a year. She didn't get a pay cut. Her hair looked amazing, right? But, so they're definitely spinning it. And I'm like, look, we're Americans. We can't be living in fear. It's not American. This is not the example we should have taught our kids. Like, hey, when things get bad, run and go hide and shelter in place.
Panic purchase.
Right. Fear is number one, right? And what a poor lesson. Seriously, and that's really the message I want is like, hey, look, we can't shut down an economy. We can't shut down in fear. It's un-American. Let's open back up. Let's get things back in order because this is going to be worse than the pandemic. This response that we've got is going to ruin our nation.
The fear itself spread so much more wildly. That was what I was most upset out the gate is just people freaking out and then just acting a fool, buying everything. My buddy couldn't even get formula for his baby.
I mean, formula, toilet paper. It's not H1N1 was where you crap yourself. You know what I mean? This one was just,
do it every other day.
Who cares about toilet paper? People are just. America's stupid now.
I lost a lot of faith.
We're a stupid country right now. Like, if toilet paper was, I'm ashamed. Like. I'm just ashamed of it.
Hand sanitizer.
I'm just come on, like, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. I didn't go and serve my country, serve my community, serve my state, for people to act an ass. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then for them to tell people that who's essential, and who's not. Like who can provide for their family, who can't. Like, oh, everyone stay home, don't go out, don't go parks, don't go do this, don't do that. If we would have taken the trillions of dollars we spent on this and we've lost from this, and set up like elderly response, we could have taken a portion of this, right? Set up one hell of an elderly response team, right? Because that's who was really at risk, 65 and older, or people with like mitigating health factors, right?
Yeah.
We could have set up a response team that dealt with them. We could have had. I mean, we could have turned that. We could, because America's lacking on elder like support, anyways. You know what I mean? We're totally lacking, and these people help build our country, and we're failing them, right? And then now we have a pandemic that somewhat targeted them.
We got caught with our pants down and nobody...
Right, so these people were legitimately fearful. We should have circled the wagons around them, provided them with freaking delivery systems that were sanitary and clean as possible. We could have provided them with medical that was, up to date and freaking... we could have had Meals on Wheels, like, reinvented. I mean, you name it. We could have set these people that were at risk up.
This pandemic definitely caught us with our pants down, or just in the realm of possibilities. I never saw this happening. I didn't think it was possible.
It caught us.
The price is wrong, bitch.
It caught us in a situation where in America, where being a victim is cool.
Yes.
And so then we all got to be victims, right? And then the only ones who could save us are these irrational politicians that come up with just whimsical ideas.
And they
right?
flip-flop their goddamn idea.
And
the mask, don't wear masks. Wear masks.
Yeah, don't wear masks. Wear masks.
This time.
Don't, I mean, even the thought of 100% sanitizing everything is, there's scientists and doctors who are like, dude, that's totally not the right response. Like,
some germs on it.
We need some germs. So you need to go in the sand. You need to go in the sun. You need to go out there. You know what I mean? Just what a shame. What a shame, our leader. But that's what we get for having 80-year-old people run our nation. You know what I mean? That's what we get for having the left. The only response is, victimhood.
Victimhood. To play a victim, to idolize becoming a victim, and like to strive for becoming a victim instead of somebody that can just do it themselves, or not just do it themselves, but take responsibility,
right? And
it just sucks seeing so much of that shit.
So after Tucker Carlson, which was a great interview, so if I had, let's call it 1,000 phone calls before, I had 10,000 now that were like
phone just steaming in your hand.
Just steaming, like, where can we send you money? Where can we buy your shirts? Where can we buy your hats? Where you are an American, you're a patriot. Thank God for you. You know, like, finally someone stood up. So it just avalanched on all the poor responses I got. So now, I mean, people are sending coins, they're sending patches. I mean, again, like, where CNN brought me some notoriety, Fox just
over the top. It's good. I'm glad
been
you
nothing
got
but
that.
positive responses. We've been every single chair has been full every single day since May 1st, and I mean, it's almost been to the point where it's not fun. I mean, it's still fun, right?
Right.
But, like, you know, cutting where we're used to cutting 2 people an hour, which is, you know, 8 hours a day. That's 19 people a day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or 16 people a day, or whatever it is. But now we're cutting like 35, 40 people a day. And that's a lot, each of us.
You're earning it all over again.
We're definitely making everything back that we lost, and then some. But and so guess what? Nothing else has happened. We haven't got that cease and desist that we got served. Probably helped us because we threw it back in the city's face. Like, oh, look at the city of Vacaville they want to shut us down. They don't want us to be open.
They don't have our back.
They don't have our back. They want to say that, you know, but there's, you know, like, they're not any help. They weren't any help at all. But
that's unfortunate.
Guess what? When they got put on blast, they didn't want any more.
Nothing?
They didn't want nothing else. They probably wished that they never heard of Primos before.
Do you think that the recognition that you get is also negative on their end for not? I mean, it's from their end. It's like, do they go against the governing rule and say, we're supporting our local guy?
I'm saying yes. So look, the problem was that you have leaders like Ron Rowlett and some of his city council groupies or whatever, and they're like trying to answer to the governor. Like, oh, we want to make sure that the governor, like, dang, the Primo's on the air. We have to respond, and the way we're going to respond is we're going to serve him a cease and desist, and hopefully, you know, like, since he's a cop and he's a Marine, he'll back down. And if we can back down this cop and Marine,
he'll follow orders.
He'll follow orders, and then no one. I mean, if we punk this guy, no one else is going to take a stand, and then we don't have to worry about it again. Well, the exact opposite happened. You know what I mean? They picked the wrong dude. I stood up to him, and then they're like, oh my gosh, like, you know, like, why does everyone hate us? Like, why is everyone mad at us? You know, like, unfortunately, the Vacaville PD was involved by serving the citation. Now, they didn't write the citation out or the cease and desist, right? That was the city attorney office. Mm-hmm. And I think Vacaville PD should have taken the stance. The chief of police should have been like, hey, this is an administrative citation. There's no way my officers are going to get involved. We don't want to be pictured on Facebook. You deal with that. You can certified mail that to that guy. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be served by, and that's what they should have done, but they didn't. And they chose. And so the backlash on them doing that, that's on them. Mm-hmm. It's not on me. And then you can't serve one guy a cease and desist and not serve all the other people that you know are open.
Were there other people?
Oh yeah, there's there's salons open. There's other stores of different types open. I'm not going to sit here and snitch because I'm all for them. I'm all for them opening. You know what I mean? I think every shop should have been open. If we would have taken a stand as a city and been like, yeah, right, okay, go.
Can't take us all down.
Come serve us all cease and desist because we're all going to open.
Right.
This is all farce, right? If we would have done that day one, then Vacaville would have had to have been forced to say, hey, we're a sanctuary city, like a couple cities did. And that's what they should have done. They should have said, hey, we're a sanctuary city. If you have a state license or you have a county license, that's on you.
You can like go out, like a sanctuary city is opened. Or
well,
what
okay,
do you
so
mean by
a sanctuary city on the left liberal side is like, hey, if you're an illegal citizen here in San Francisco, yeah, you're illegal, but we're not going to, if we stop you and arrest you, we're not going to tell ICE. We're not going to tell, like, we're keeping it within you're allowed to be here. You're safe here. We're not going to send anyone to you on our city level. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, we're not going to help the state or the federal level either, try to get you out of here, right?
Gotcha.
Well, and the same thing could have been used in Vacaville. You could have said, like, hey, Vacaville, we're a sanctuary city. We're not going to close you down. We're not going to send our police officers. We're not going to send our code enforcers. We're not going to spend our money. We're not going to shut down the parks. If you guys go at your own risk. Like, is our license covered under the state? Is our, you know, whatever, is some licenses covered under the county then? But we're not saying you have to close. But you have to deal with that on your own. we're not going to tell on you. We're not going to take phone calls from these concerned citizens snitching on you. We're just going to be like, hey, they can do what they want. That's their constitutional right.
How is you staying open? Like, say there's the scared Karen in her house across the street, and she's calling. What is you opening going to do to affect her health?
Nothing. No one's dragging her in here. No one's dragging her son in here. No one's dragging her husband in here. No one's dragging anyone in here.
You're taking the risk by coming in if you're that scared.
And the repercussion is like you'll never come to my shop and you won't utilize it, right? Because you don't believe in what I did. But guess what? You're the exact kind of client I don't want. Mm-hmm. If you feel that way, if you feel that Primo's Barbershop is something you can't support because you weren't brave enough to see through this farce of a pandemic, then you're exactly the client I don't want in here.
Then stay out.
Yeah, I want all the bold citizens of Vacaville. I want all the true, red bleeding Americans to come in here and that will show me support, will support my barbers, will support the idea that, hey, we have a right to stand up, we have a right to be essential, we have a right to feed our families, and no one and nothing's going to stop us.
So beckoning back to what you said about making what you do who you are, you'd say cutting hair is what you do, but staying open is who you are.
Right, staying open is who we are. Being American is who we are. Being fathers, being providers is who we are. Being mothers, being providers is who some of our barbers are. And that's important. That's important that's important for them to be able to say too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because on some level, I could have hidden winters this whole time and cut hair, and my shops would still be open. No one was going to shut me down. But it wasn't about that. It was about standing up and making a stand and being an example. And I think that's what the city, the state, the county, even the nation needs. We need examples. We need people to lead by example. We need people to say, hey, we're going to go take that hill instead of, hey, go take the hill, right? Because it's easy for me to point you to your death and say, go take that hill. Go do it. And I'll be back here watching you. But it's less easy to be like, hey, follow me. We're going to go take that hill, right?
Together.
But who are the people that you want to follow? You don't want to follow people that just give you the orders. You want people that lead you into battle. And I've learned that in the Marine Corps, and I still believe that to this day. Leaders are people that would not do anything, that would not ask anything of you that they weren't willing to do, and do it first, and do it wholeheartedly.
That's part of experience. For my first job out of college, I learned the exact opposite of what I wanted in a boss. Just the worst work experience ever. But working with my pops sometimes in the landfill, it's like he'll get down in the trenches with you, pick paper, do whatever grunt work, but then he'll get in his truck and drive around. But it's like he went through all that. He understands. There's something to expect out of a leader that does it with you.
America needs to be okay with starting somewhere and the end goal being somewhere else, instead of starting here, because then there's nothing to gain after that. We couldn't just be given stuff.
Instant. We want instantaneous gratification instead of the years it takes.
People want to blame it on millennials. I want to blame it on the millennials' parents for giving them everything without, I want to blame it on the trophy parents. I want to blame it on the soccer parents that said, "Oh, little Johnny should be playing," and how dare you?
Participation awards.
Yeah, participation
Don't you
awards.
love them?
I want to blame it on the parents that don't support the teachers who are like, "Hey, little Johnny was a jerk today. I put him in detention." But these parents are going like, "Hey, not my Johnny, not my Johnny. How dare you? You need to give my Johnny. If my Johnny's failing, it's your fault."
I'm hearing horror stories from my friends that are teachers about there's no repercussions, there's no discipline for kids these days because the school's too scared to discipline them because the parents will get involved. They'll get sued or whatever. We're at a point in time where the students are in charge.
Like, I guarantee you, no one failed this year.
You don't think so?
Oh no, dude, there's no senior. I mean, this is a failing senior's wet dream.
Oh my god! I don't have to go in.
Yeah, dude, don't have to go in. You're gonna pass me. I'm gonna do miscellaneous work on the computer, and you're a jerk because then I'm gonna be like, well, you weren't here to teach me.
The victim, right? Oh,
and then you're gonna graduate.
I was part of a Zoom when I was doing an article for the preschoolers in winters because they do Zooms like once a week just to see each other's friends, and all of them, there's one kid just digging into his nose at the bottom. They're in one kid had a Boba Fett hat on or Chewbacca mask.
Yeah.
It's just, these kids, it's like they don't see the pandemic. They see ways to hang out with each other. It's like there's an innocence there that I love, and they want to be with each other.
You know the good thing about, there's always silver lining to everything, right? Mm-hmm. I saw more kids on their bikes hanging out than I've ever seen in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
You go to Winners, kids are on their bikes running around, and you're like, dang, good.
People are outside.
People are outside. Everyone wants to go on runs. Everyone wants to go hike. Pina Adobe was bursting at the seams, and guess what? They started letting people in for free. I mean, things that I mean, we could have spent trillions of dollars on getting people to eat right. We can spend trillions of dollars on people to exercise correctly. I mean, we wasted it. We wasted it. And guess what? All these millennials that were serving you at Red Robin or freaking working at Pietro's Pizza or wherever it was, right? Do you think they want to go back to work?
They're making more
making
unemployment.
so much good money on unemployment, and we're promising them more. They're like, and now they're getting called back to work. They're like,
why do I want to do that?
but can we wait till the 18th when my next unemployment is, and
in.
it's like our work ethic is tumbled in this country, and this just is like we just propped up another excuse for them to be victims.
Excuses and victimhood.
We gave them. They're not even victims. We're just handing it to them.
Do you think this
It's a participation
pandemic,
award.
It,
It's a here. You were part of COVID-19.
we survived.
You
Come
survived.
on.
Here's another check.
Do you think there'll be more of an appreciation for things that are lost? 'Cause I went to the gym, Anytime Fitness in Winners, for the first time in months, and it was just the hallelujah chorus. There's so many things that I don't want to take for granted.
Well, even here in the barbershop, I mean, bless our supporters' hearts. Like, even today, I mean, we've been open now since May 1st, so it's a month and a half in, and people are still handing us, like one person here a day at least gets $100. Like, thank you so much for being open.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see generosity like that before. People are just grateful to be feeling normal again. And what a great way to feel normal. Just come get a haircut, look fresh, leave feeling good. Like, oh, okay, I can get out here. I can go to the
Damn,
gym.
you helped me out, dude.
Yeah,
I was
I go to the gym and look like a boss again. Like these girls on Tinders will actually meet me for a date now.
oh my God.
I
Instead of just getting laughed at.
I don't have to Zoom my dates anymore.
Just Photoshop your head a little bit. Just whatever.
These girls can get their nails done.
It's-
I think that we're gonna get back on track. Hopefully, everyone takes this as like with a grain of salt and learns to not take stuff that we had for granted. But also, hopefully, they take it like, hey, this should have never been taken from us in the first place. How dare they do? And if they try it again, if they try to say, oh, the second round of whatever, the second wave, or 2021's COVID-19 relapse is
The second wave.
mutant. Strand, we need to come back in. I hope people are like, no, we did that before and it didn't work. We're gonna stay out here. You go hide.
I think people are starting to become more awakened, especially what a perfect storm 2020 is. The COVID keeping
God.
people inside. Their angst is just growing and growing, and then George Floyd, and that is just erupted.
Atlanta. I mean,
Atlanta.
Everything's
more
under
recently
scrutiny.
as well.
That was last night or a couple nights ago. Like everything's under scrutiny. And what did you expect? On a side note, for about 24 hours, everyone in America agreed that cop murdered that man unjustly, and every cop agreed about that. Every politician agreed with it. Every family that was white, black, Mexican, Asian agreed with it, right? And so we had this amazing moment of agreement that everyone, there wasn't a single person who was like, no, come on, let's give that guy some, we got to see the whole story. No, the whole story was out there, and everyone was on the same page.
We were united.
We were united for less than 24 hours. It all went to crap, and now we're more divided than we were before. We want people to apologize for their skin color. We want people to apologize for
having an opinion.
Having opinions. We want people to apologize for supporting the president. We want people to apologize for supporting police. We want people to apologize for not being black enough. We want people to apologize for like, well, I'm Hispanic too. What about me? And what about us? What about us? What about us? What about? So but it was a perfect storm. You have these young generations that are sitting in their house stewing for 2 months. And so now we have all these experts saying, hey, like COVID-19 is a real big thing. Don't go out in groups of 10 unless you're protesting. Then for some reason, COVID-19 is not real.
COVID acknowledges that you're
COVID acknowledges, all the standards and whatever you guys uphold, and you won't be infected. However, if you're trying to reopen a nail shop today, you're wrong.
You're scum.
Yeah, you're scum.
Scum.
And you're going to get COVID-19, and everyone in your shop's going to get COVID-19. You know what I mean?
If those riders don't take their skateboards and smash windows, and
I mean,
that's ruining it for
think
all the
about that
protesters.
too. Think about that too. Like all these businesses that are just getting back open are now having to board up. You know, 2020's been a
shitty.
muff.
It really has. Hopefully,
Man.
it's a trial, and we're at one end of the spectrum, and we can get through together. Together seems like such a made-up word these days. But what's the opposite end of the spectrum from all the bullshit we're going through right now? If we can earn it, if we can get there.
For me, I think it's just I just hope that our pendulum has swung all the way to whatever side.
Yeah.
You know, like how much more can we? I mean, we're ruining monuments to World War II veterans. We're ruining. You know, people are.
I haven't heard about that.
Yeah,
What
they're
the
facing the Lincoln Memorial. They're tearing down statues of police officers, or you know, I mean,
There's so much hatred.
there's just so much division,
hatred.
so much hatred. I mean, people are tearing down statues of people that like helped abolish slavery, right? Because they're just like, oh, this is an old statue. You know, like there's no thought process in it. It's like they just want to loot, destroy, pillage, and you know, like.
It's with whatever the peaceful protest was trying to accomplish. Who knows if these guys are paid off? Who knows of what alternatives there are? Yes, they're angry, but what the are you doing?
Well, and if you look, I mean, there's so much deep conversation that can go into this. But you look at these kids spray painting BLM all over the place, and all cops are bad, AC or AB or whatever, right? I don't think I've seen one image of a young black man spray painting that. It's
Not
always
all.
been young white kids or.
I've seen videos of the black guys taking the spray cans out of these kids' hands. Like,
so
what are you
who are
doing?
you to tell? Who are you to spread this message that our lives matter? Because when you spray paint and you vandalize and you destroy things, if it has BLM all over it, it's gonna look like.
It's like a gang tag almost.
Well, not that. It's just that if Black Lives Matters and the point is to destroy monuments and graffiti them, then you're sending the message that like young black people who have a belief in this, right, are the ones who did this or caused this damage, right? So you're basically causing damage and getting it blamed on them, the people you're supposed to be helping, right?
Right.
And so there, I do think on a conspiracy level, like there are people getting paid to spread this disease and make one community look worse than another community, and because division is what pays the bills.
Gets ratings, doesn't it? Conflict.
Oh man,
They love it.
It gets those votes. It hampers elections.
Isn't it?
What better way to keep the ratings up?
And it's sweet to just turn everything political too.
I mean, if you got stacks of bricks being dropped off in a known.
It's like, what is this doing here? There's no construction anywhere.
But again, we could spend podcast after podcast dissecting. But
Conspiracies?
the conspiracy.
We'll go over round Earth, flat Earth, or something like that.
But you know what? Like, on some level, this division, I'm just praying that the pendulum is swung, and we have to come back correct.
How do you think we can do that? One of the questions I had for you was, the world's getting hairy out there. How do we get this fresh new haircut? How do we just pull through out of all this bullshit? It seems so far-fetched. Everybody, it's like police they're animals. They're bloodthirsty animals. It doesn't matter if they're husbands or brothers, dads.
Well, you know what? I mean, again, I was law enforcement. I feel awfully for police officers that are put in these positions. I also feel for the public. You know,
Absolutely.
I feel that there's been enough poor policing out there that does. But you're talking about like very few. Look, there's rapists that are barbers. There's murderers that are barbers. There's child molesters that are barbers. But so does that mean none of us are ever going to get a haircut ever again? No, you don't ban barbering from America because, 2% of us are animals and villains and pure evil, right? And same with policing. You have 2% of all law enforcement officers that are just downright criminals, and no one's going to defend that, including especially officers, right? And there does need to be some oversight and stuff done, and but that's not what's happening here. They're trying to just ban a whole.
They want to get rid of police, defund the police. Where that for me, I can't get on board with that.
So here's what I say. I say, and this is just asshole Juan. right?
What does Asshole One have to say?
Asshole One says that let's do it. Let's do like 4 or 5 major cities, defund them. Baltimore, Chicago, Minneapolis where this happened. Maybe LA.
Just
it's kind of a little bit close to me, but
hit the purge button. Give them
and just be like, you know what? There's no more. I hope. I mean, I would love to see an entire department just be like, you know what? Fine, we resign.
That'd be a hard lesson to learn.
And what a lesson! The state police would be overwhelmed. The federal police would be overwhelmed. But this is truly what some of these mayors are and city councils are actually literally calling. I mean, tonight in Fairfield, California, on the table is to defund Fairfield PD. Richmond PD has been the mayor's calling for Richmond PD to save $70 million, or the city to save $70 million by defunding the Richmond Police Department. Let's just let that happen to like 4 or 5, and just
people will die.
People will die.
die.
People will be like, wow. And all, you know what? I say let it happen in LA and Beverly Hills, where all these movie stars who are pushing it. Let's let them deal with that. You know what I mean? And then be like, you know what? Open your doors. You know what I mean? And you guys aren't allowed to have guns.
No guns?
No guns. No private security. If this is what you're saying, then we want to. You get to live these lives. I bet you those same actors and same athletes and same.
They got bodyguards.
They're gonna be like, you know what? We changed our mind. Police are important.
Police.
Yeah.
There's firemen would just be running rag too. It's I was thinking about it. Why defund police? Why pump money into it? Develop some programs. Say get local police that know the area. They're born and raised in that area, and they know the people. And
well, how about fund training? I know every single department is probably behind on all their training. You know why? Because there's budget cuts. Because they can't send people to AOSD. They can't send people to felony evasion classes. They can't send people to how to interaction classes. There's a lack of training. And the reason why there's a lack of training is because the police are spending all their money on like equipment and lawsuits, and you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. It's like in body cameras, and I'm not saying these things aren't important. They are, but you can have a body camera of a man about to tase a police officer who's armed, and that police officer shoots him, and then the man gets fired. The other man who punched the cops, ran away from him, has a huge criminal record, beat his kids and was out on probation because of COVID-19, right? Mm-hmm. But he was supposed to be in there for 7 years, but he got let out, right? And you can have this man be the martyr, and these cops are fired, and their own mayor is calling them, and their own police chief is resigning. That's what happened in Atlanta.
Yeah,
that's what happened. Yeah. Look, if I was a police officer and you had a taser on me, I know what a taser can do. You know why? Because I've been tased.
You've been tased before.
So I know I have no chance at all of recovering from that tase for 5 seconds, right? And that's if he doesn't pull the trigger again, right? Mm-hmm. I know if he wants to come up and grab my gun, that's his gun now.
You can do it anyway. How long are you stunned for? When you're tased,
5 seconds. It's 5 seconds. And it's like having a muscle cramp in your leg, but your entire body. You can't move. You can't move. That's why when you see like people get tased, they're like, boom.
It's just a board.
Face first, teeth all out. It's a hell of a thing.
And those barbs in you,
barbs in you, and you're done, right? So if you're coming at me with my taser what I know that taser can do, you're going to use deadly force on me. Mm-hmm. And maybe the taser, that being tased itself won't kill me, but what you're going to do to me while that taser is on me, what you're going to take away from me, now we're talking about deadly force.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it's just what an impossible job it is. It's you can't win.
How
are you supposed to? Sorry for inconveniencing you.
And that's what I'm saying.
This criminal.
I think, like I said, the pendulum has to go all the way, and I think one of the ways that's going to happen is you're going to have a major city or something be defunded, and we're just going to have to
sit back and watch it burn.
Yeah, everyone's going to have to watch it, and we're just going to be disappointed. But hopefully that's enough for people to be like, oh, that's why we need police. Because guess what, everyone figured out during COVID-19 and the rioting and looting? I don't care how left you are, how anti-gun you are, every liberal person out there for a moment was like, oh, that's why they want guns.
We could protect ourselves a little bit.
That's why 30-round clips are probably a good idea right now. if I could carry a gun, maybe I wouldn't be a victim, you know?
Make you feel a little more secure?
Yeah.
Dude, that story of just staying open, it seems like simple, staying open, but the ratifications, hopefully that is like pushing the snowball off the cliff, and it just keeps rolling and rolling, and
right.
God damn it.
Hopefully people remember it.
Remember it, or can be inspired by it, to act by it, and it just seemed like you're just being your authentic self.
Yeah.
Like, I'm staying on.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
asshole
but
on.
being an asshole and being stubborn has gotten me really far in life. And again, it's 5 steps forwards, and luckily it's only like 1 step back. You know what I mean? So far. But
You motherfucker. The next one will kill you. Oh, son of a bitch. You shot me in the ass.
like on this one I won. I won. Like no penalties.
You won?
I won. I'm number one.
Number one?
Number one winner. But yeah, I mean,
It had to feel good, though.
it did feel good. It felt good to win, and if I can win, if I have the courage, then anyone can. You know what I mean? Because here's another thing too that our local governments and even our big governments can't handle. They can't handle boldness. Being bold is too scary for them. Being bold, like, wow, that guy knows his rights and he's not he's not scared. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go mess with those 100 people who don't know their rights. They're a lot easier to deal with than this guy.
They're more compliant.
They're more compliant. You know what? If we give this guy too much attention, then we're gonna look like losers. So let's not give him any more attention. Let's let him drop off the face of the earth.
They're barking up that tree.
I mean, that's a win. That's still a win.
It's all good. Hey,
It's all good.
I don't know, it just goes to show this is one prime example of what happens. Say, what do I call it? It's defiance or non-compliance.
Non-compliance.
It's
Yeah.
like the you gonna do about it? And
Comply to what though? I mean, I think that if I didn't have a little bit of a grasp of our constitutional rights, then I would have maybe I wouldn't have thought this far, and maybe I would have been a sheep too.
Do you think more people should there be more education, in high school? All right, these are the rights.
Absolutely.
So people are more
I don't
comfortable.
even know if they teach that in high school anymore.
They teach you the Pythagorean theorem, which I've used. I don't know
no
how many
times.
times since we don't learn how to do taxes or change tires or change oil.
Or balance a checkbook.
What's a checkbook?
Yeah.
I don't.
I bet you there's people who are 16 to 25. I bet you 50% of them have never filled out an envelope for postage.
Not at all.
Never. They have no idea how to send out any type of mail or.
I knew this girl in high school. She did not know how to tell time from a traditional clock. She could only use digital clocks.
Wow.
She couldn't look at a rotary clock. I think, whatever it is. And she goes, "How the hell do you not know?" It just baffles me.
Yeah, I mean we need to go back. We need to go back. I mean, a lot of people are like, "Oh, we've come so far," and we have, but man, we need to bring back the basics.
There's work. The work ethic is
If
abysmal.
we don't know our constitutional rights, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
They're not teaching it for a reason. You know what I mean? They're not teaching constitutional rights.
This collective ignorance of
Let's even
what
call it
we're capable
college.
of.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're not even teaching it there. You have all these people who are really all like, "Yep, they can do it. They can do that. Yep, they can do it."
Well, that's the thing at the college parties. You find a law enforcement major, and they ask about, so what can we do here or that? And they're kind of the novelty. They know their kind of. As far as the books teach, as far as what they're allowed to know.
Yeah.
There's
I mean, you have to major in American history to get constitutional knowledge in college.
There's I think it's a Charlie Brown or Calvin and Hobbes. I think it's Charlie Brown. Nobody's going to give you the knowledge to overthrow them.
Yeah.
No institution will ever give you the knowledge to overthrow them. And that rings so true.
That rings so true. So what better way to keep us scared and following than ignorance?
Ignorance and fear.
Ignorance
and
fear.
It's like nice little gasoline fire action. I like to wrap up these podcasts. I do it. It's called Off the Cuff. 10 questions that may or may not have anything to do with what we've been talking about.
All right.
They're just kind of quick. There's fun.
Let's do it.
All right. So, what was your favorite piece of equipment to use in the military, or like your favorite gun?
M203 grenade launcher.
Grenade launcher, like on the top of a Humvee, just.
No, it's like on the bottom of your M16. You just grab it and poof.
Or you just fully erect the entire time.
Yeah,
you're shooting.
dude,
I heard it's weird
awesome.
if you don't have one. Like, just blast it.
Oh, it's Good stuff. When you see,
feel like a man.
When you feel like you're blowing, when you are personally responsible and see what you've blown up, it's something. I mean, I'm sure guys and jets and like big naval missiles and that's cool, right? But when you physically are on the battlefield, you see that.
You feel a shockwave.
Yeah,
and you're
that's
just like,
that's you.
That's gotta feel pretty good.
It is. It's a good feeling.
Ranch or blue cheese?
Neither.
Neither.
I hate condiments.
What the hell?
I hate condiments.
You just have a burger. It's just a
Yeah.
fried piece of meat.
Well, no, I'll do ketchup and mustard.
Okay.
And relish, but
No,
outside of those, I don't do condiments.
Just the basics.
Yeah.
Barbecue
Even
sauce.
Kinder's, if any,
If
Kinder's,
anything.
because Kinder's tastes like candy. I don't know what the heck it's
Sugar.
It's good. Yeah, it's like very sweet.
All right. What's better, Pietro's 1 or Pietro's 2?
Ooh,
That cheesy
you know what?
bread.
Pietro's number 1.
That's one closest here, right?
Right. 2
around
was
the
over
corner.
by Foster Freeze.
And they have that.
2 was
yeah,
good
over.
though. Look, 2 is more friendly. 2 is more true to its originality.
Mm-hmm.
1 is just mainstream, like, oh, you're sexy if you go to 1. But I
It's dimly lit. It's so nice.
yeah, it's dimly lit. It's got a Gucci bar now. But the pizza I ate there first, and so I'll always remember Pietro's number 1. So
Absolutely.
it's always, even if it's the same. I mean, it is the same exact recipe, right? Mm-hmm. But I had it there first, and so it's Pietro's number 1.
Sometimes you can't
Yeah.
welch on it. What about their cheesy bread? That is just sunken in. There's like this.
You know,
much
I don't
gooiness
eat
in
salad
bread.
anywhere except for Pietro's.
Oh, really?
Their chef salad, so meaty and so cheesy. Oh,
Solid.
it's like meat. It's
These
like
Italians. It's
Yeah.
Primo, right?
It's Primo.
So cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs?
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
Smaller dogs.
Smaller dog, like
Yeah.
a corgi.
Like a little pug or
Pugs are so
yeah,
cute.
they're cute.
They can't even breathe. 'Cause
Yeah.
we've bred them such. Love it. If you could give any historical figure a haircut,
Ooh.
who would it be?
Well,
Shave Bob Marley and just
oh gosh, that's Elvis Presley.
Elvis
Elvis Presley.
just gelling it
Just
up and
give him the pompadour he wants. That guy has some hair.
put a
But
somebody
look, that
under.
guy. I mean, that guy had hair across the generations. I mean, he's clean cut in the military, haircuts. He
was in the military,
Yeah,
what?
he was Army dog.
I just when I hear like Elvis was in the military, I figure they just put him up in some
I think
really
I
nice
think he
tent
was treated
somewhere.
really well.
Yeah.
I think Elvis Presley was a gem.
No
That's like
hindsight.
Prince Harry in the English military. I mean, I don't think that.
English military.
Yeah, I think he
good
was
for
like.
him.
He served a couple of tours. For that guy gets some street cred for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's it. What about Elvis get any street cred or
Not for war.
a little bit.
I mean,
for all the
he
drugs he
served.
took?
He served. I mean, listen, he's the greatest musician in my mind of all
Yeah.
time. I mean,
He's the
king.
GOAT?
He's the king.
He's
the
the
goat.
GOAT.
You can't beat him. You can't.
There's a lot of good singers.
I
in the
mean, there
60s
are.
and
There
shit.
are. I mean, and there's people that are probably. But Elvis is the one, man.
It's good. Hey, that's what's the best part about having your opinion. You
Yeah.
can go. You can battle it with it to the death against somebody else.
I mean, he's the all-around American.
He's a hound dog.
Yeah, he's a hound dog.
Nothing
man.
but a hound dog. What's your favorite? That's a solid goddamn answer,
Yeah.
Elvis. What's your favorite cartoon growing up?
Thundercats.
Thundercats.
Yeah, Thundercats.
That was
my
like the
favorite.
Saturday morning.
It's either that or even the Ninja Turtles. Ninja Turtles was solid.
Oh, they were solid.
Yeah,
Uh,
I had 3 brothers and me, so there's 4 of us, and we always played Ninja Turtles.
Who are you?
I was Leonardo.
Swords.
I was a leader.
Let's go. Leo is the.
Yeah, he is. Swords. He's the leader.
Any love for He-Man?
He-Man was awesome. Grayskull. He-Man.
Do you think they were kind of giving you an overly sexualized type character
God.
for little boys to be idolizing? I mean, hey, it's all good.
No,
if you're
the
into
best
it,
sexual
but-
character on Earth is, I mean, to this day, Jessica Rabbit
from
Roger Rabbit.
Oh God.
Oh my
She
God.
was. What about?
She
was smoking hot. That one.
Man.
Oh, there's the cosplays, all the people
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
dress up and whatnot. I thought it's kind of getting the furry business, but Lola Rabbit from Space Jam.
Oh yeah, I
rabbit.
do remember that. Yeah,
It's kinda hot
yeah,
for-
she
for
was
a
hot.
rabbit,
Yeah,
you
she
know?
was. Yeah, she
Great
was
at
hot.
basketball.
Yeah.
Great shot. Speaking of basketball, Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan
Jordan.
all day.
I haven't seen LeBron's last dance.
Yeah.
He's still dancing though.
Yeah,
He's so,
I mean,
he's so fucking good.
he's amazing. He's amazing, but he's not Jordan.
He's not.
He's not Jordan.
Not until he plays baseball or.
I mean, there probably is a LeBron shoe out there. I'm almost 100% positive, right?
Maybe.
But I've never seen it.
I don't want it.
I don't even care.
Why would you waste money on that? You get a Jordan.
It's Jordan. Jordan everything.
Jordan just he's so big because he came in at a time where he made sneakers the thing. Like he transcended the sneakers and took basketball worldwide.
Yeah,
like,
I mean that whole era. I honestly
wild.
I can't even, I wouldn't even put LeBron on like Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Dennis Rodman.
Really?
I mean just Magic Johnson.
They were saltier back in the day.
There's something about that early 90s, late 80s freaking era of basketball that
It was gritty.
Yeah, I just remember it's the characters. I remember them. I couldn't name 10 basketball players right now.
Really?
Honestly,
you falling off the wagon?
Yeah, I'm just not a basketball guy, but
oh, it's good. The Kings will treat you good for a half, and then the second half they'll blow a lead.
I mean, I've been excited. I've always felt like I'm a Kings fan, but because I'm up here, I live here.
Mm-hmm.
But man, those Golden State Warriors,
They were solid for a while.
They were solid.
They'll
man.
be back though.
They were fun. It was fun to be like, wow, that's something that's local and kind of neat.
They were. I remember watching them. I always a Kings fan, but the Warriors, I was big on them when they still had Monte Ellis and Don Nelson, or when Baron Davis dunked over Andre Karolinko.
Yeah,
that was the most savage Oakland type thing I've ever seen.
I think I like Steph Curry more because of how he is as a family man with his daughter and his wife.
Very much
than I do about him on the court. I just love that he's a solid dude.
Mm-hmm. It does make you. It's like, yes, I love cheering for this guy because he's not a douchebag in real life.
Yeah.
And some guys are. That's why I don't get why some people just let the fame or whatever get to their head and they're just douchebags in real life. Like, come on now, if these guys can do it, why?
Well,
why can't
that's
all of you?
why my favorite athlete on this earth right now
Who's
is
that?
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout,
I mean, what a humble, amazing
billionaire
athlete. Yeah.
What I haven't heard anything bad about him.
I don't think there is anything bad about him. He's just
good dude.
Good young man.
Is he
humble.
Is he as nice as JJ Watt though?
I don't know.
JJ is
a nice man.
solid human being.
Yeah, he is. So I don't think philanthropy wise.
Philanthropy.
Philanthropy.
That's a miserable word.
Yeah, I don't think Trout's got his game up there yet, but he's still a young dude. I mean,
He will.
What? He's like 27, 28.
He's super young.
Super young.
Super young in LA. No, Angels.
Yeah,
of course.
Well, and then, you know what? I think. Look, if Trout went to the Dodgers or the Giants, I would wear his jersey.
Yeah.
Just he's that good of a. I honestly think we're watching history when you're talking about Mike Trout. He's got, as long as he stays healthy, man, that guy's.
Will he get a ring though, or is he gonna be like a Dan Marino? If he stays in Anaheim,
Angels
I don't
need
know.
to get pitching. If we could get some pitching, we have the best hitters in the league, but we have no pitching.
Pujols isn't still around, is he?
Pujols is still
He's
around.
still around.
Yeah, man, that guy's
He's like 80.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Ohtani guy was supposed to be our pitcher, but he hurt himself. I heard he's going back to pitching. Hopefully, but he's an amazing hitter. Just by that, Calhoun, we lost him. He was an amazing hitter. But I think we have bats. We just don't have any defense.
You need the arms to throw.
You know those arms.
That's that goddamn defense part.
But you know what though? Arms are hitting has gotten to such a level that pitchers are irrelevant. They're like 2 years, 3 years max.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you think so?
Because everyone got them down. These batting coaches,
It's wild.
they get they get their number and it's over. These guys can hit like they can hit 80, 90, 100 mile an hour balls like no problem now. They've got the timing down. I think batting is that's why batting is so nuts right now because they and a human being can't really throw any faster than they've already thrown. There's no room for improvement for throwing.
Chapman's the hardest I've ever seen. Chapman is the hardest I've ever seen throw a baseball. But just to figure them out, to figure out the pitcher, it shows how good these guys are.
Well, and they can study tapes, and they can get these machines to throw those pitches over and over and over at a certain speed over. And so in these batting boxes, these batting coaches, they get to see it over and over. So it's not like you don't know what you're going against anymore. And that's the problem I think that's the problem with baseball is these hitters have it all down.
And you get some assholes beating their trash cans, and you know what pitch is coming.
And if you know what pitch is coming, how easy is it to hit?
But if something's humming at like 102, or you say 95, some ungodly speed, you gotta almost predetermined to swing.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They have them down. They have. I mean, they're.
I'm your huckleberry.
I think any good pitcher maybe has 5 changeups, 5 different like little things, in his, little pitches in his bag. But if you know all 5,
well, they do so much. I want to say like studying. It's like okay, it's this inning. He likes throwing this to this guy. He threw this to me past couple times.
There's algorithms that can beat these guys.
It's too much.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's
Moneyball.
It's Moneyball. I haven't seen that yet.
Dude,
I hate Jonah Hill.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a Jonah. I'm a big Brad Pitt guy. No on Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill on this one's a very tame character. So
still, it's his face.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything he can do.
I don't know. Wolf
cut
of
it
Wall
off.
Street, man.
That
was the best Jonah Hill movie I've ever seen in my life.
He's just lucky he had Leo there. I'm a big Leo guy.
Oh,
big
Leo's the man.
And he's on the last podcast I did with my buddies. It was all movies, and we had like our Mount Rushmore of actors at Leo. I love Tom Hardy, Bane, Christian Bale, my guy, and then Johnny Depp. Could be a douchebag off the.
I think those are all solid. Amazing. I don't know if I put Hardy.
He's not a traditional guy. He's just a favorite. Whenever I see him on screen,
listen,
it's like,
I mean,
bringing it.
A lot of people are going to talk about me after this comment.
Please.
But Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is
gold, man.
He's
gold. Everything that guy touches is gold.
He hasn't aged.
Far and Away, freaking Last Samurai.
Last Samurai is
Born on the 4th of July. I mean, Top Gun.
Mission Impossible is actually getting better.
They're getting better and better. That guy is the man.
Last Samurai people sleep on. I love that movie.
Oh my gosh.
Goes out like a champ.
Like I want to low-key die like that, man.
You need a sword out.
I need a sword.
Something.
A horse outside or something.
Nice bayonet. You got like the little
Cut everyone's hair with the samurai suit. It's like, damn, that's the cool thing about the Japanese language. Like, you could say anything in anger and it sounds badass. You're like, Toyota! You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
Mitsubishi!
It's a low, guttural voice, but they could be saying, you look beautiful today.
Yeah, they could anything they want. It's just a violent, manly, just machismo freaking language, man.
When, this isn't a question I wrote down here, but I've seen a video of a guy using flames to cut hair. When is Primo's going to start using fire?
I think that's a dirty South thing. It's not us.
It looks dangerous.
That's like some Cajun shit, man.
It's like, I don't know, you can have patches all over, you're done.
I don't think we could do it.
No third-degree burns?
No.
It's okay.
Well, the good thing, too, about barbering is it's always a human thing. You can't teach a robot texture, curls, cowlicks. I mean, that's the cool thing about our industry. Is like I feel like we're always going to be relevant.
Every canvas is different.
It's going to be the barber. Yeah, because everyone's hair is different. Everyone's.
You've seen people with like 3 or 4 cowlicks or just some weird shape. These mutants.
I mean, it's crazy. Like today, I cut a guy's hair. I'm like, Jesus. Like I don't even know if I did a good job. And I'm like a really confident barber now. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I've never dealt with a guy with a shaped head like this, with a light skin like this, with a hair texture like this, with the hair texture not being what I thought it was going to be. It was just a mind-boggling. But I'm like, wow. Like I got to see something new.
Was he happy with it?
Yeah, he was happy with it.
Right.
He was like, it was cool.
Very good. It's just like lumps all over. It's
but I'm just like, like I was just guessing, but I'm like, yep, this is why. It's like a small reminder of why I'm always going to be relevant.
I'd say that's a cool challenge because I never really think about, you go into a barbershop, they just do what they do, but you don't think about the planning of, okay, the head's like this. This is weird.
I would say it takes 3 times to know your client. And that's why I think people are so loyal to their barbers. Is because after their barber gets their hair down, if they go anywhere else, it's not the same cut that they're used to.
Yeah.
And because that person is guessing, he doesn't know where your swirls is. He doesn't know if you have a mole right here. He doesn't. So there's all kinds of like I've even started people I've never cut before. I'm starting to slow down on their hair initially because I don't know. Like I've hit people's moles and then they start bleeding. I'm like, like I feel like an asshole. It's like, dude, why didn't you tell me you had a big fucking 3-inch hole in your fucking head?
Your twin brother that never made it out and stuck on your head.
Yeah, come on, bro. You think you give me a heads up on that one? But
it makes it fun.
Yeah,
keeps it coming back.
Keeps it coming back.
You cut your own hair?
No.
What do you got?
No. One of my barber Jessica. She does a great job.
She knows your head.
Yeah,
the noggin.
She's the one.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one. When I tell people if you're not gonna be there, who should I go? Jessica. Jessica's a solid barber.
Good to go.
She came from Supercuts. No one really wanted to give her a chance. You know what I mean? Like
Supercuts, I've heard. It's not.
And when she got to us, when she first got to us, there was definitely some help needed.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I've never seen someone so interested and so passionate about their education and figuring it out. She's amazing. Like one of the best decisions I've ever made was hiring her, and that was against the barbers that were here for a long time. They're not here anymore, but they were like, nah, like don't. I'm like, nah, dude, we gotta give her a chance. Like, she's, she asked a barber owner before I owned this place. It was owned by a different guy, and he wouldn't give her a chance. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna give her a chance. And
she's about it.
She's about it.
That's
She's the
good.
one. She's the one.
I have my barber to find one that you trust. That takes some time. Then when you find one you trust, I find if my barber has tattoos, I'm at ease. You know what? So I'm happy that you got. You got your sleeve?
Full sleeve.
Anything
my
else?
Chest, I'm
just everywhere.
I'm tatted. Yeah.
You're good to go.
I'm gonna run for mayor.
Yeah?
I'm gonna run for mayor in 2022. You're here to hear first.
Let's go. Are you gonna get like a 2020 on the neck?
No.
Or something like that?
So here's the thing. The only reason I don't have neck or hand tattoos is because I had in my mind I've always wanted to run for mayor, but now especially because I feel like this mayor dropped the ball on this whole COVID-19 thing and try to like sell my shop out to dry. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, there's that stubbornness that hit me, like, oh, okay, you don't want to lead, fine, I'm gonna try to lead. You know what I mean?
Just asshole 1 2020.
Yeah,
Let's go.
That's it. That's gonna be a slogan.
Well, it's the people say of Vacaville have seen what you're about, what your quality is. Like, I'm gonna stay open, and you saw the support, you saw the backing. So,
well, and I think too, like, I'm a big believer in short terms. Not short terms as far as the amount of time. I'm talking about, like, if you're a career politician, then you're worried about, like, if the reason why Ron Rowlett didn't hold his ground or stand up for small businesses or even his own community was because Ron Rowlett's worried about his next election. I don't want my platform is going to be like, hey, listen, I do want to run for mayor and I want to be a leader, and I want to be a leader that's not worried about my next election. I want to be able to stand up and say, nope, Governor, what you're doing is unconstitutional. My city is not going to do that, right? And not fear the repercussions because I'm elected, right? Mm-hmm. And if I don't need to be elected again, or if I'm not trying to be elected again, then I can make some ballsy moves.
Well, you're saying like being present-minded. You're here right now, not worried.
So
okay, the next election I have to pull this weird shit.
All these politicians that are lifetime politicians, they have no balls anymore because they're selling out their constituents for their next election. So, and that's why you have a guy like Joe Biden, who's been in government for the last 55 years.
Why do they gotta look so creepy too? Like they match. You talk about judge a book by their cover. They look like they be pulling the that they are pulling.
I think every term should be 2 terms max. And if you want to run for something else, then go run for something else. But you don't get to run that. You don't get to hold that seat in Congress for 48 years. You don't get to hold that seat in Senate for 55 years. You don't get to hold on. 2 terms max.
They'll die out eventually.
Yeah.
There can't be too many more 70, 80, 90-year-olds.
What's wrong with 40 and 50-year-olds running our country?
They still got lead in their pencil.
John Kennedy, young guy, great leader. We just need younger people.
Well, it's hard for younger people to identify with these old assholes that don't give two about them.
Right.
Like, how are they supposed to? I believe in this.
Right. And
old white guy.
I don't think they have the gumption. I don't think they're relevant to society after you hit 60, 65. What do you really? You're not in tune with.
You're not hip unless you're in a music video. Really try, but it doesn't seem like it'd be authentic though.
I guess Betty White
should be president.
Yeah, she should be president.
She transcends all ages, and she'll never die, which is perfect.
She's never gonna die. I think she drinks formaldehyde. She's funny.
Has to.
She's funny. She's witty.
I never got into Golden Girls though.
But she's like that, man.
Really?
Man, why can't we have an old leader like that?
We need an old, sassy black lady as president. That's just
bam,
ready to make you feel great when you do well. That will scold you when we're f***ing up. Not gonna.
Yep.
That's some good old fashioned.
Good old fashioned common sense.
What's that?
Yeah.
We already talked about your favorite R&R place in the military. Okay, who wins in a fist fight between Biden and Trump? Because usually during these questions, I'll just pin up. It's called one-on-one naked combat. So there's no weapons. It's
I say
just
Trump.
You're ready to. He's got that angriness to him.
Trump's a bigger dude. His weight's there. He's 4 years younger, so he's got that. Biden's one hand injury away from dementia, man. Like that guy's lost in the sauce, man, and he's not even injured.
Is he? Does he go down to the first round?
Yeah.
First round knock TKO.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Plus Plus, you're talking about a guy. You're talking about a guy who's not. Trump is a tenacious man. You can't have all the businesses and all the experiences he has and all the things without being tenacious. You know what I mean?
Or bold.
He's
a wild man. This guy.
Biden just goes with the flow. He's always on someone else's shirt tails. He just
seems like a creepy guy. Every politician just creeps me out.
I bet you Biden's never been punched in the face one time in his life.
There's one quote that my cousin's ex-husband told me that I'll never forget, and I'm a little remiss because it hasn't happened to me, I guess. Mm-hmm. But he said, if you've never been punched in the face, you've never stood for something.
I agree.
I'm like, I've never, I stand for things, but I've never, I guess, put myself in this spot where I've been socked.
So when you're in the CHP Academy, there's a day in the academy where you box. And so what they do is they line everyone up. They try to line you up by size and weight, right? And then the only thing that'll mitigate the size and weight is if you have experience. Mm-hmm. So if you boxed in high school, okay, now we're not going to just put you with someone your size and weight because you'll beat their ass, right?
Right.
But we'll put you with another experienced boxer. But outside of that, so they basically try to team you up with a guy that
you're good.
That looks like you, right? Or basic build or whatever. And you could always tell who's been in a fight before and who hasn't.
What is it? Just the way they approach it?
No, it's the first time they get hit. It's the first hit, and then they start running. And I'm talking about, I've seen some big men, big dudes that for never in a million years what I thought would. And they go in there, they're ready to go. They're ready to go. They're ready. They want to hurt the guy. And it's a little, it's intimidating because you got everyone around you watching and all the instructors, and you go, and that's what we do all day long, right? And so you see guys in there, and they get hit one time, and they look like these great guys. They're in shape when they run. They're doing pull-ups. But they've never been hit ever. Maybe because they were bullies. Maybe because they just lived in a great neighborhood. But they've never been hit in the face. And when they get hit in the face, even with a big boxing glove, it changes. The fight either is in them or it's gone. And I would say most times, the very first time you get hit in the face, it's not in you because it's an experience that
just do it.
That'll make or break you.
Do you think it will show you who you are? You're either a coward or somebody that can take a punch. I mean,
no, because I think you can learn. I think you can train and learn past it, right? Mm-hmm. And you can also be the next time you'll know what it is, so you can change your response. I'm not saying that if you've been hit in the face and you run that first time that you're always going to be a runner. That's not. I don't think that's necessarily true, but you can always tell, and so I think it's a great thing for police officers to go through that academy and get punched in the face,
get smacked.
Yeah, because it's like wow, and then you can tell the guys that have been hit in the face multiple times. They just sit there and they just go there. It's like a cool slugfest. Yeah.
How'd you do in your
Dude,
boxing match?
I'll tell you what, they showed mine at the end of the end dinner.
Yeah.
Because our boxing match was so awesome, right? So it was this kid named Greer, and Greer was this stocky, really strong army cat, and I was I was somewhat stocky, but
you gotta represent the Marines.
Right, I was a Marine, so we were just bam going back and forth. I mean, it was hit, and we were not running. We weren't trying to soften the blows. You had people who were like, "Hey, dude, when we go and fight, just let's don't use your full strength." Before we went, we're both and we were one of the last fights. We're like, "Hey, we're just gonna do it, right? We're gonna hurt each other. We're just gonna do it." And so for me, the only thing I had really on Greer was my reach. My reach was, but I would say he was stronger than me and stockier than me, but I had a better reach on him. And I feel like if we would wrestle, he would have me up, but because he was a wrestler. But I had fought before in my life, and I took some boxing classes, so I had a general idea of what I was doing. And so my punches were a little bit better than his punches. Well, every time he would punch, I would just duck my head. And so he was every single punch was hitting me right on the top of the head, but he wouldn't duck. And so every punch I threw hit him in his nose. So it was like, psh, psh, like blood. Psh,
just splattered.
Psh. And so we had these white shirts that we were wearing, and they were like pink when we were both done. And none of the blood was mine. But to Greer's credit, he wasn't backing down. He was just taking them.
He took it.
He just took them. But so I kind of looked like a badass. I just made this guy leak all over the place. But I'll tell you the next day when I put on my cover or anything for like 2 or 3 days, I was like, like everywhere where he punched me, I was like, oh.
Did you see that UFC fight? It was the women's. It was the Chinese chick.
Oh my
And then that girl's face.
She looked like an alien.
That was probably the best fight I've ever seen.
That was the best UFC fight I've ever seen.
I don't. Went so
those
hard.
women were hard. And you know what? That Hungarian girl or wherever she was, Turkey. I don't know where Czechoslovakia. Mm-hmm. She was bad, dude.
They were.
Like I honestly think she should have won. I'm not sure. But did she look like she won? Absolutely not. She looked like a monster.
I would have been happy if they called one or the other. I'm like, that was such a good fight. They both, I wouldn't say don't cut the belt in half, but they both deserve kudos for how hard they went. Harder than
I
the
just
guys.
think that the Asian girl definitely has some punches in her, and she was very calculated fighter. But that Slovakian girl, whatever she was, she had a kick response for everything, man.
Mm-hmm.
That girl would. Just when I thought she would get knocked out, she would kick you right back again.
Some people can just. It's not they can take a punch, but some people can just take a punch better than others, and maybe it's genetics, maybe it's just you can't learn to just get socked or whatever. Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Right.
Who knows?
I think that I've been in plenty of fights. I've lost plenty of fights. I've won plenty of fights. I think if you win every single fight you've been in, you're a bully. Because you're only picking fights with people that you know you're going to beat up because of whatever reason, right? So the guys that I low key like give a higher evaluation of, because I have a plan to kick everyone's ass. You know, that's just in me. It's the Marine in me. It's the cop in me. It's you know what I mean?
You're like Batman.
Yeah, like I have a plan. Like every person I meet, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna punch that guy in the throat because if I don't hit him quick and hard in the throat, he's gonna beat me up. You know what I mean? Like I just have this thing, right? So I think that though that some of the best fights are the ones that are more even. You know what I mean? Like when you can walk away and be buddies because there's respect on the table. That was a good fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the ones where it's not like and you know most of the fights I got in high school were because I couldn't stand people being bullied, and they weren't even involved. I wasn't even involved. I just butted in. I couldn't stop. You know, I couldn't.
Did you go to?
I went to Vacaville High and I went to Wood.
Okay.
So, like I said, most of the fights I got in were because I just wasn't going to stand there and watch some bigger guy bully a littler guy, or some whatever group of people bully one person. You know, like I just couldn't tolerate it.
Too many people standing around.
Yeah,
for your liking.
So I always got involved, and that's if I got in fights, it's mostly for that reason. But you know, and then the Marine Corps, I got in fights just because Marines.
Marines being Marines.
So on that day, I know what a punch is gonna feel like, and it's not gonna. I feel like there's no rules in fighting. You gotta win.
Let's go.
And I think Trump understands that. Like
that's what we were talking about.
Trump doesn't care if he loses 10 businesses because you know what? He's got 300 that he won't lose. So he's willing to take the risk, and I don't think Biden understands that. So
he's got blood. Trump has blood to spare.
Right. I think Trump wins in that fight.
Yeah, for sure. All right, last question. What's the most satisfying noise in sports? Like crack of a bat, the golf ball going into the cup, swish of a 3-pointer, maybe on a chain linked net.
You know what I like the way that golfing sounds.
The drive,
the drive and the hit. Oh, I love it. I even like hearing the little,
when it bounces off
ball. Yeah, it bounces on the green or whatever. I like that. In the sandbar, I think golf is just has really nice sounds.
It does. Like crack open a beer.
Yeah,
that's my favorite sound in golf.
Everyone's chilling. And you know, like everyone's quiet for a second. You know, and like I think golf is just a really respectful game.
It's respectful, but it needs to change a little bit. I'd say to draw more of an audience. Because I went with my buddies. We had music on. We're just drinking beers, smoking on the course. Just having a good, not being obnoxious to people around you. Don't be obnoxious. Don't be a fuckface. But have fun and people care way too much about it. Don't care about you're going to have, more often than not, your shots are going to suck. Yeah. But those few that right down the middle and just a nice little pop, pop, pop.
Tiger Woods definitely brought golf to a mainstream. A lot of good-looking golf women out there.
There are.
Tons of them.
Tiger He did it right, but man, when I look at his mugshot, that should give everybody hope for the future because that guy will win another Masters champion. He did it. I never thought, okay, Tiger's mugshot, rock bottom. I've never just, that glazed look in his eyes.
It's that back injury and him being on doped up, and that guy was at the rock bottom.
And he came back and won a Masters.
Yeah.
And you can come back, you can do whatever you want. Who's to say you can't, rock bottom's not a good rebound off the ropes.
And that's kind of amazing because like those people who are like addicted to narcos and Oxycontins,
opioid epidemic,
those guys, that's something hard to come back from.
That's why I don't get why football players aren't allowed to smoke. No, you're going to take opioids, get zooted out of your mind instead of smoking. Did they change that recently? I hope so.
I think I heard that they changed that.
Goddamn, I hope so.
Well, I think I heard that they're not going to be testing anymore for cannabis.
They shouldn't because Percy Harvin, like ex-Viking, dad said he was high every game because he had migraines or whatever.
Dude, my favorite high story in sports. Well, we can end on this one. Is freaking that no from.
The pitcher? When he's high on LSD?
High on LSD. Dude, I watched that full documentary. I was like, Jesus, like, who cares how ugly that no-no was?
It was a no-no. Wildest thing you've ever... Can you imagine cutting hair on LSD?
Oh
just trying to get all the serpents and killing all of them.
That's when we'd start the flames. Those guys have to be... Yeah.
He's like, I gotta kill this person.
We always joke around because we offer everyone beers and stuff.
Yeah.
Man, have like 3 or 4. I don't care because the more you drink, the better my haircut's gonna look to you.
Absolutely.
I can really jack you up, but it's a blur. That looks blurry. Yeah, it sure does.
Can't just shake that. Yeah, your haircut looks great.
Yep.
No, Juan,
come and get faded.
This was faded. Get a fade while faded.
Get faded while you're getting faded.
God damn it, sir. Thank you very much for coming on.
Really nice talking to you.
Absolutely. 2 hours later.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Go.
Do it again.
Yeah. Well, on the campaign trail.
Yeah. Hey, that'll be a good time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Thanks, Juan.
You lose. Good day, sir.